the Cherokee morning song. So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My drum is made of deer skin. I made this in a ceremony in Australia, and it has been one of my greatest teachers, as has my own voice and letting it free and hearing it and using it as a feedback system, letting it tell me where I am in my life. And there's a fantastic proverb. A Native American, an Indian chief, asks questions and helps you kind of check in where you're at in life. And he says something like this: when was the last time that you laughed? So when did you stop laughing? When did you stop dancing? And when did you stop singing? That's when you stopped living. Now that I have a toddler, I challenge myself every day to sing, to dance, to laugh, to do these things, because even though it might be a challenging day, that helps me recalibrate, and I just start doing it. So just singing, even if it's just, a simple childhood song, that helps me kind of get back in the mode of, yes, I am singing, I am living. And that's a nice little way of saying, where am I at and how can I take some really quick things to change it. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about what has brought me here today. And you probably have stories that are conceptually similar. The story of your own awakening or your own enlightenment, how you discovered that there is a deeper sense of living, how you discovered your native self, your natural self, and how that can continue to percolate and trigger you and even nudge you into being even more and more that what you know is you, innately you, naturally you, on the outside. Being able to bring that into each little moment that you live and say, wow, I'm feeling this within myself, and I can express that and be that out here and see how that then feeds the whole cycle of who you are. So I started really broken, right? As most stories begin. I went to a couple of people and they said, well, your heart needs help. Well, not in a physical way, just that like energetically. So they were talking about the chakras, which I knew nothing about. I didn't know anything about any of this Eastern philosophy stuff. And they said, your heart chakra is broken. It's blocked. And I'm like, well, first of all, how do I fix it? And how do I unblock it? What does block mean? I feel like I can function. I feel like I can love. I feel like I love myself. I, take care of myself well enough. I don't think really anything to express like, oh, I'm broken. I didn't feel broken, but I felt like there was something more in my life that could feed me, that could help me figure out where I belonged. The sense of belonging is what I was kind of searching for. The sense of, deeper meaning within my life. I did this job and I was good at it and I enjoyed it and it was great, but it didn't really make me just go, oh my gosh, I'm so passionate about what I do. So I wanted to find that. I wanted to figure out how to, first of all, find what that was, and then how am I supposed to apply it? So in my search, I was brought to a couple of books that taught me how to meditate, of which I couldn't slow my mind down. Are you kidding me? Any guidance or anything that said you should meditate and that sort, it was just really confusing. How are you supposed to shut your mind off? My mind is blah, 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 blah. Even if I'm just going, it's still just rambling on. And it does. It talks faster than my mouth can move, as I'm sure you guys can relate, right? So I just thought, well, how am I supposed to do any of this? So I would read an excerpt in this book, and then I would just sit back and just close my mind and think about it and just watch where my mind happened to go. And then before I knew it, I felt like I was waking up, and an hour felt like it went by. And I would look at my watch and 10 minutes went by. And I was like, how how does this make sense? You know, where am I going? How does it feel like an hour has gone through my mind, but only 10 minutes in real time has passed? This is weird. So I discovered that what I was doing was I was trancing. So trancing to me was this meditative state where I literally felt like I was falling asleep, but it was so much work that was being done, because as soon as I would drop into this place, and we'll go through this and I'll show you what I mean. We'll go through a bit of an experience so that we can kind of bring some language, because you probably already know that this place exists, or even maybe you exercise with it already. So when I would go in there, it would just be like, you know, ages of things. Dreams and all these different stuff would come up, and I go, well, I don't know what half of this stuff means or what I'm supposed to do about it or anything, but that's kind of fun. So each time I would read through the book, it would talk about another concept, and again, I would just like fall asleep with the concept and thought and come back, and I found that I started having like these awakenings. So each time I came back, I'm like, oh, I realized something, this little ahas, like, okay, I think I get that. I don't really know how to explain it, but I think I get it. Well, that brought me to going to Australia. I know, big jump, right? Okay, I'm gonna just take off to halfway around the world. Well, like I said, I didn't know where my feet belonged. Literally and specifically, and generally speaking. So a couple of these people who I'd gone to and sought some guidance after, and they said, well, you know, your heart's broken, you need to go somewhere, you need to do something. And I said, well, I've got these friends, and they live in Park City, and they're from Australia, and they're telling me it's not a third world country, and you know, it's fairly developed, you know, it's English speaking, so most people will be able to understand you pretty good. You know, these sorts of things, like really talking me into, well, if you're gonna travel, you should go to Australia. And I thought, okay, well, I'll do this. Looked into getting a visa. It was a 1-year visa, and I thought, yeah, sure, you know, I'll sell my car, I'll sell my house, I'll get rid of pretty much everything that I have, because this felt so right. You know, I'd been in a couple different careers. I was finished with college. I had bought 2 houses. I just felt like, you know, I did the American dream, but I wasn't ready to get married. I wasn't ready to get settled down yet, because I didn't know who I was. You know, what am I supposed to do? I got to find my career. I got to find, you know, these sorts of things. If I don't have a relationship, like saying, hey, you know, we're having kids right now and this is my path. But so my path was to find myself in that way. And so yeah, like a couple weeks later, after I had gotten my visa accepted, I was on a plane. I had packed everything that I belonged down to one backpack that I could barely physically manage on my back. So here I was, a turtle, moving home, shifting. And when I flew on that plane over there, I was so scared, because here I was going somewhere completely by myself. I was 31, so I've done things by myself before. You know, I've gone to movies and gone shopping, you know, some pretty surprising things that can be hard. It can be hard to go out to these places on your own. But I had also, you know, driven across states to go and see friends and stuff like that. But I mean, can't you relate? You know what I mean? You know, so you know, it's not that different. Like, okay, I'm going to go across to the grocery store, or I'm going to go to Australia. You know, really, like, is it that hard? And it is up here, you know, but I knew that I was so desperate inside and so motivated inside to really find what that was, that I just felt like, yeah, this is happening, you know. Part of me wanted it. Part of me was, well, actually more of me was more scared than anything. My mom just pleaded and begged with me, don't run away from your problems, you know, just know why you're going. And I'm like, yeah, I'm moving, Mom, like I'm gone. So at the age of 31, I was like, that's it. I'm gonna go do whatever I gotta do. And my motto in going was, I am going to find whatever. I am so open to just saying, this experience is gonna teach me. I'm gonna go and see what it has to show me. And so I arrived in Sydney, and I was walking through the tunnel, because they've got a train system from the airport that gets you into the city. So I walked through the tunnel off of the train, and the first breeze that hits my face starts bringing me to tears. Like, I'm crying, walking, like with this big, massive backpack, right? Oh my gosh, and it's not like tears of, oh, like, where am I? How am I going to do this? How am I going to survive? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm home.